When I was an undergraduate, many, many moons ago, and it was really quite wonderful to be a student during the days of civil rights, because all of the activists who thought they had something to offer, intellectuals, left the North and came to our colleges in the South, black colleges in the South, and taught us. Imagine that. And it was wonderful. And so when people ask, well, what is going to a small black college in Louisiana have to do with getting ready to become president of an Ivy? Well, it has everything to do with that, because I came up in an environment in which I believed that knowledge was mine to have too, and that I could be educated by the best professor available. So when we segment our students and we give them what they think of as an education that is less than what they might have had, we're producing consequences that we will have to live with societally for a long period of time. We ought to be understanding that education belongs to all of us. And it's not just for people who can pay to get their kids into, and I mean pay in the sense of the admission scandal, to get their kids into the best schools. It belongs to all of us, and I want to see the kid who is in the inner city in Houston, in the school where I went to high school, feel that they can, in fact, go any place, and that they're entitled to go any place. Why can't we make it seamless for them? That's what I'd like to see. You don't have to answer that.
No, actually, I want to answer, not from the standpoint of defensiveness. I completely agree with you. The fact is, these highly selective schools, the Ivies, Ivy Pluses, cannot solve the problem. We are collectively too small. We are a tiny segment. One of the great failures of higher education administrators, we should be good storytellers, for goodness sakes. We fail to tell the story of the complexity of higher education institutions. We fail to tell the story of the incredibly important role that community colleges have been playing for a very long time. And we have failed out of, I think, well, that failure has been made manifest in the way that the national discourse and driven by our politicians, how that has affected the landscape of funding in higher education for all kinds of universities. Absolutely. So that's a failure, and it grieves me greatly. And I also quite agree with the notion of sharing resources. And at a university, resources come in many shapes and sizes. And I do believe that universities, like highly selective ones where I happen to be the provost, can do a lot more work to make those connections. And in fact, and this is where I am being defensive, we just launched a post-baccalaureate program that will start next year in mathematics, focusing on one specific area. Of the leading 65 universities in North America, the AAU, Association of American Universities, about 2 or 3 years ago, about 280 people got PhDs in mathematics, 16 of whom were for underrepresented minority groups. Yep. So while I don't really buy all the way into pipeline issues, that's a pipeline issue. So we're launching now a program started by a math department, which my office is helping to fund with National Science Foundation, targeting specifically students from HBCUs and HSIs, post-baccalaureate students, to train them up so that, frankly, to be honest, I mean, for graduate school, and in my view, frankly, to get them to Northwestern in graduate school. Because we need to have people doing short-term planning, short-term strategic change, and long-term strategic change. There's no other way to solve these complex problems. So I'm with you.
Okay, very good.